Buy to let, thatched, commercial. We're your high street insurance brokers for all types of insurance. Avoid faceless internet firms.
High House Insurance, do it face to face.
See Neil and the friendly team at High Street Selsey.
High House Insurance, do it face to face.
Or call Selsey 606 552.
Hello, this is Mary Kennedy. Welcome to this week's programme, in which Hugh talks to Nick about the Passion Play, Lynn has a recipe for pickled eggs, Charles has gardening tips, and Nick talks about Ironman. First, let me tell you what's on. On the 28th of April, the women's section of the British Legion have their meeting at 2:30 in the Town Hall. Also on the 28th of April, Selsey Cinema Club are showing Gravity at the Town Hall. Doors open at 7 o'clock for a 7:30 start. On the 30th of April, a busy day. Join Selsey Library's 50th birthday celebrations at the library from 10:30 till 12. For the over 60s, there's tea and chat at the Riviera from 2 o'clock. And in the evening, Selsey Town Council's planning meeting is at 7:30 in the parish hall. On the 1st of May, Selsey Carers Coffee Morning is at 10:30 in their High Street shop. On Saturday the 3rd of May, Crablands Bowling Club have an open day, 10 o'clock for green bowls and 12:15 for short mat. Little Spain Bowling Club also have an open day in Golf Links Lane at 2 o'clock. Also on Saturday the 3rd of May, St Wilfrid's Church have a good as new sale, 11 o'clock till 3 o'clock in the Church Hall in Church Road. Lots of bargains to be had. On the 4th of May, Selsey Lifeboats sponsored walk, about 10 miles, a registration from the inshore boathouse between 8 and 10 in the morning. Further information on that from Sean Elphick on 07866 419 679. On Bank Holiday Monday the 5th of May, Selsey and District Carers Support Group have a car boot sale at the Academy. So now we go over to Hugh and Nick for a review of the Passion Play.
Right, you've got Hugh Graham for Selsey Internet Radio here, and he's talking to Selsey Internet Radio's roving reporter.
That's me.
Nick Jones.
That's me.
Who is this week making the news himself, or rather to be precise, he made the news last week when he directed Selsey's Passion Play. Nick, come on, how did you get involved in this?
Well, I got involved with it just by, I don't know really, I suddenly found people asking me would I direct the Passion Play, which we'd done about 4 years ago, which I'd been in. And I said, yes, I'd directed a number of plays locally. And I'm not a very good learner of lines anymore, so I'd rather direct than actually be in things. So I readily agreed. So back in November, we decided to audition for the parts again. We had a slightly different script to the previous years. We added the burial scene, which we didn't last time. We finished with Jesus on the cross. So it was a new script in some respects.
So you went into the Holy Sepulchre?
Yes, right.
Okay, yeah, fine.
That's right. So we managed to get everyone cast, all the characters cast.
But you couldn't find Jesus, could you?
No, I couldn't. And I advertised for Jesus, and I went on the Selsey Internet Radio asking for Jesus, but nothing came up. And it got to February, and we were getting desperate. We were rehearsing without Jesus, and the play seemed slightly incomplete, as you can imagine.
Yeah, right.
So a friend of mine who's done a lot of outdoor acting and a very good actor who lives in Nutbourne.
What's his name?
Peter Hall.
Right, yeah.
I contacted him and I said, would you be interested in playing Jesus for me? And he said, I'm too old. And I said, yes, I know you're too old, but you're not too old.
And you're experienced.
And he's also a churchgoer.
Oh, yeah, right.
He is a churchgoer. And
had he played Jesus before?
No, he'd never played Jesus before, and it was something that he didn't think he would ever do. But when I said to him, he did stir thoughts of, yes, something I'd like to do. So I twisted his arm behind his back and I said, yes, come and do it for me. And he agreed. And to be honest, he performed a miracle.
He was brilliant, wasn't he?
He was very, very good. The rest of the cast were brilliant as well. I would hesitate to say that any of them were anything but brilliant. The amount of time they put in, the amount of enthusiasm they showed, it was so rewarding.
Right. Now, if I remember rightly, I seem to remember seeing people in the cast from all the 4 churches in the village.
Yes, it was. Yes, everyone was involved, and that was great. I was really pleased that everyone was involved in everything, from the walk-on parts to the speeches. There were members of every church, the 4 churches in.
And also the support mechanisms like sound and everything else.
Yep, everybody. And the choir, of course, the choir was superb, and they rehearsed separately. They joined us towards the end for full rehearsals.
And Fran was good, wasn't she?
Yes, on the piano, or piano, what is it, organ? Piano? I don't know.
Electronic piano.
Yes, that's it. And, of course, Geraldine was a superb conductor, producer, director of music. She's, as always, came to the top, as Cream always does.
So, how many people do you think saw it? I reckon about 300.
Yeah, I think it was between 250 and 300. Up to about half an hour before, we had the new arrivals, early arrivals, and they were there. We had about 20, 30 people. Then at 5:45, there was probably at least 150. And in the last quarter of an hour, people flooded in. They really did.
I knew we were on a winner because when I started coming down, because I decided if I wanted to be at the front and get a decent place, I thought I'd have to get down there early. So I persuaded Marjorie to come down at about 5:30.
Yep.
And we saw people walking through the village carrying their own chairs.
Wasn't it nice?
It was absolutely super.
It was wonderful. It was. That's the great thing. You say the 4 churches, which is you're absolutely right. But it was a village community.
Yes, it was.
And that's what it drew the community together.
Yeah.
And that was the lovely thing.
Yeah. Tell me, where did you do all your rehearsals?
At the evangelical church.
Oh, we speak to evangelical church.
Yeah,
right.
That's where we rehearsed, and then we did the final 3 rehearsals in the churchyard.
Yeah. So you were really blessed with the weather, though, weren't you?
Oh, weren't we just? It was just the end of the good weather, really. It started to break up after that. Yes, so that Friday evening was a prayer answered. And I would like to thank all the people who did so much in getting the set ready. All these people who come along, they don't get any praise, but they made the set, they put it together.
And they're so important, aren't they?
Yes, everybody made their own costumes, which was superb. All the costumes were superb. And everyone is important. Everyone's important.
How long were you rehearsing? When did you rehearse?
We started rehearsing in November.
Okay.
So it's nearly 4 or 5
And
months.
you managed to rehearse, first of all, without Jesus?
Yes, we did.
I imagine it was quite a relief when Jesus arrived.
It was. Yeah, no, we blocked it
So
all.
that was the first coming, was it?
Yes, that was the first coming. Yes, that's true.
All right. Then. So now, if you were to take any highlights from last Good Friday's performance, what would they be?
Well, I think you must say the actual crucifixion, which I know brought tears to the eyes of many of the audience. The taking down from the cross, the whole atmosphere then, and I think the whole audience were enraptured by the whole thing then.
I was watching the kids who were sitting at the front. Did you look at them?
Yeah. Yes.
They were absolutely mesmerised.
They were, weren't they? They were. I thought,
absolutely extraordinary.
yeah, I thought.
And I thought that must have made it worthwhile for all the cast anyway. Just the children's expressions.
Yeah, and I've had many people since the production come up to me and thank me and say how much they enjoyed it, which is very warming, very warming.
And were the cast happy?
I think they were. I think they were more than happy. I think they really enjoyed it without exception.
What about Peter Hall? Did he enjoy it?
Peter enjoyed it a great deal.
Did he?
Yeah.
And was there a party afterwards?
No, we didn't have a party afterwards, but we are going to have a little get together to discuss what we're going to do next year or the year after. We think it's going to be once every other year rather than once a year.
So it's alternate years?
Yes.
So the next one is going to be in 2016?
2016 on Good Friday.
And will you be directing it?
If I'm asked, I'd only be too pleased to.
Thank you. And to Lynn for this week's recipe.
Right. Morning, Lynn. I tried the Scotch eggs last week.
Good.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
They do make
And
a
it is
lovely
much.
supper.
It is a mucky business, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's lovely, isn't it? You get all your hands in
I
it.
got help from my small grandson, who's
Aw.
11, and he loved every moment of it.
Bless his
And
heart.
of course, he loved eating the eggs too.
Yeah.
They are
But
delicious.
we had our Scotch eggs with chips because he likes chips.
Oh, that's even fattier, isn't it? But what a lovely meal.
Yeah.
And it's just a lovely supper. Really is.
Anyway, what are we going to do this week?
We're going to do some pickled eggs with a little twist of chilli in them.
Okay.
I think, all right? So this is how to make pickled eggs
I've
with
never
chilli.
ever tried pickled eggs.
Oh.
Although I've often seen them in the chip shop.
Oh yeah, everybody has it. You know, Friday night fish and chip supper, don't they? Pickled egg on it.
Yeah.
You used to get them in the bag, didn't you, with your chips on the seafront? I used to love it.
Yeah.
I also think they're quite a Christmas tradition, aren't they? They
Yes,
were
they are.
once a year. I know we're not nearly into Christmas, but
I've never ever had one. So
Yeah.
I've got no idea.
okay. Well, they're lovely. They are lovely to eat, and they're not high in calories either, are they?
I don't know.
No, not at all. No, about 100 and something calories.
So
an
you
egg
can
or
eat as
something.
many as you like.
Anyway, I do like a bit of chilli in with them, so this is how I'm going to do the eggs for you today. 18 eggs.
18.
18 eggs.
Truth.
Yeah, well, we're going to make pickled eggs.
Yeah,
And if
okay.
you've got a nice large jar, 18 eggs will go in there quite well, won't they?
Yes, I suppose I will.
1.14 litre bottle of Sarson's clear pickling vinegar.
Right.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
A small amount of greaseproof paper and as many chillies as you dare put in. For me, it's the hotter the better. All
How
right?
many eggs? How many chilies do you put in then?
As many as I can cram in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Slice the chilies lengthways before you put them in and then just squeeze them in there. You
Yeah.
don't have to put too many. You could only put 2 or 3 in there
Yeah.
and you'd still get a nice chili taste from the eggs.
Yeah.
The eggs don't need to be super fresh, and normal short-bought eggs are fine. You don't need to go rushing off to the farm to
Yeah.
buy super fresh eggs. It's not happen. If you've got chickens at home, though, make sure that the eggs are at least a week old because it helps with the shell removal. All right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Put the eggs in a large saucepan and cover them with boiling water. Some people say to add some vinegar to stop the shells cracking, but I've never had an issue with that, so
Yeah.
that's fine. All right. Wait until the water is at rolling boil.
Yeah.
So now you've got a really good boil going on, and then time them for 10 minutes, ensuring the eggs stay covered. It doesn't matter if they crack while boiling, just keep them boiling, all right, for that 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Once that time is up, we drain and immerse them in cold water and give the pan a good shake to crack the eggshells.
Yeah.
This is a good way of getting the eggshells off without the eggs going all horrible, and leave the eggs intact. If you're using the jar that the vinegar is, then decant half of it into the jug, because you can buy this in a jar, can't
Yeah.
you?
Yes, you can.
And carefully drop the eggs in the jar whilst adding pieces of chilli as you go, all
Yeah.
right? Then add the eggs until they reach the neck of the jar, and now you add more vinegar to top up the level to just below the lid,
Okay.
all right? You may need
So
to
that
press...
covers the eggs.
Yes, it does.
The
You
eggs
might-
don't float then.
No, I hope not. It would be very fresh if they did. But no. So press them down, press them so they wedge themselves in and stay under the vinegar.
Yeah.
You don't want any eggs over the vinegar. Just an important note, if you are using an old jar that's been used before, make sure you sterilise it properly.
Okay.
I think we did do sterilisation of jars in one programme, but just to recap, a very simple way is to go and buy some Milton tablets from the chemist.
Milton tablets?
Milton tablets, or Milton fluid from the
I
chemist.
think I used to remember my mother baking them in the oven.
You can put them in the oven, you can sterilise them with hot water, you can do all sorts of things. But yes,
Milton tablets are
a
the-
Milton tablet
nice
that
and
they used
easy.
to use.
I'm-
They used
I'm-
for
I'm-
babies' bottles, don't they?
I believe it's easy.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is easy. If you're using metal lids, it's a good idea to cover the jar opening with a square of greaseproof paper, all right?
Yeah.
And that stops the vinegar making contact with the lid and rusting the metal.
Okay.
Doesn't look very pleasant, does it? Carefully screw the lid on tightly and put the jar in a cool, dark place for at least a month. There is some debate about how long these will last in a jar. I've had pickled eggs before that have been a year old, I know this, because they've been in my cupboard that long.
Yeah.
But I would say 3 to 6 months is probably the best average time to
Okay.
keep pickled eggs, all right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a lovely, good
I
pickled
suppose
chilli
they're
eggs.
good in salad, aren't they?
Yeah, they're lovely with salad, yeah. Pickled
Okay.
egg and salad, pickled egg and chips, as we said just now. Or just a pickled egg if you just want something like snack.
Yeah.
You know, it's good for you, it's not going to hurt you.
And I
Hardly
suppose
any
actually you
calories.
could actually use it as a nice sandwich.
Oh, with cucumber.
Yeah.
Could be
Bit
nice,
quick,
couldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
Could be nice, yes, you. Anyway, pickled eggs, there you go.
Thank you very much.
You're
Lynn.
very welcome.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go and try that now.
Yes, good. Come back tomorrow. Come back in 4 weeks' time with some pickled eggs for me then.
All right.
We'll put them in the
Okay.
shop. Bye-bye.
See you, Lynn. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Lynn. Next we have Giles's gardening spot.
Charles, this is the end of April
Yeah,
and the beginning of May. What happens next?
yeah, plenty again to look out in the countryside. This time now, it's worth, especially in the woodlands and around this, wherever and around anywhere really, but particularly woodlands, look out for the shimmering bluebells, which are absolutely, lovely to see. And also listen out, if you're in the countryside, you wouldn't hear it in here in Selsey, but in the countryside now, round about now, listen out for the faraway call of the cuckoo.
Oh, right, yeah.
But you'd have to get out of Selsey a bit. You'd only hear seagulls here.
What's that rhyme we used to have as kids?
Oh, yeah, I know. What was I've forgotten.
Yes. Cuckoo comes in April,
Yeah,
sings a song in May,
yeah.
whistles a tune in the middle of June, and in July he flies away.
Yeah, that's the one. I couldn't remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But unfortunately, you won't hear one around here.
No.
No, not a chance.
Really?
Well, no, because it's not their habitat. They need woodlands.
Yeah.
There's nothing here. They don't go into private gardens, put it that way.
No, all right.
So no, and all we hear, as I keep saying, mainly is seagulls.
Yeah, all right. Yes,
No, if you get out of Selsey down into the countryside, have a listen. Then yeah. And also in the woodlands, pale wood violets have now been taken over to their dark blue violets cousins.
Yeah,
And the dark blue ones are more scented than the first ones were.
yeah.
And also the bright hawthorn and blackthorn are now they're now really lovely to see with bright green leaves, and they're transferring the hedgerows. Look so different with them now.
Okay.
If the white hawthorn blossom
Yeah.
goes early, then summer will be fine.
Really?
So if it's gone, then hopefully by the end of the month, the blossom, we'll have a good summer.
Well, we certainly don't want a wet summer, do we?
No, not after what we've
I
had
mean,
now.
not after the winter.
Not really. So look out for the hawthorn.
Yeah, okay. I shall watch the
And let's see
hawthorn
if
like
that's,
hawthorn.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know, my son saw a little merlin in our garden for 2 seconds the other day.
Yeah?
That's most. I've never ever heard of that sort of type of bird in this area, I must say.
Yeah.
It would literally flew in onto a tree, onto the little tree, and it was there. It flew in literally. Well, to say it was gone. So if you'd flicked your eyes, you wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah.
But he was convinced 100% it was a little merlin.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, you never know what you're going to see, do you? In the garden itself, watch out for the tiny spotted gooseberries. If you've got gooseberry bushes, there's what they call the gooseberry sawfly,
Yeah.
which is quite common, and their caterpillars are now starting to appear. And they actually, if you don't deal with it, they will actually chew. They can chew all the leaves off in a couple of days.
Really?
They're quick, yeah. So you've got to watch that one. And then if there are any, spray with a Deris based product, which you can get obviously. And also climbers, if you've got climbers on your house or on fences or wherever, on walls, which a lot of people do, quite often they struggle because they're actually in soil they're in is very poor and dry.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you got them now, apply some fertiliser and compost to help them out. Okay, so that if any climbers, as I say, do provide them with some fertiliser and compost,
Right.
and water them as well, because again in dry weather they don't get much.
True.
They get very little. Provided the flowers haven't opened, the buds haven't opened into flowers yet. If they have, you're too late. Spray apples against scab and mildew with a suitable fungicide. But as I say, if the buds have opened, you've missed the boat, or unless you've done it already. Maybe most people hopefully have. And check any new shoots coming on apples for green fly aphid.
Yeah.
And then spray if required.
Okay.
So that's the main jobs in the garden. Take geranium cuttings and plant, to get some geranium cuttings, so little geraniums, and plant them up if you've got any old teapots or saucepans, and then you fill them with organic compost and bloodfish and bone meal, and then feed with tomato feed and cold tea alternately. And I'll tell you, you'll have a most unusual feature with the profusion of large flowers.
Yeah?
Over the summer. So that's just a little idea.
That's a lovely idea.
But it does work. I've tried it. And it also plant out onion sets, globe artichokes and asparagus grounds if you're doing any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Also start to sow French beans, scarlet runners, broad beans and peas outside. Plant out sweet peas that have been raised in the greenhouse. They're all little things to do. Another little thing, just a little ditty about green vegetables. We all know we're meant to eat them. Greens, we all know, but good for you. Greens, good for the heart. The more you eat, the more you laugh. The more you laugh, the happier you feel. So eat more greens at every meal.
That's lovely, Charles.
So, I'll give a vow out, I think, on that side.
Okay.
So I'll see you next week.
We'll see you soon. And by that time it'll be May, won't it?
You will, yeah.
All right, Giles. Thanks
Cheers.
a lot.
All the
Bye-bye.
best. Bye.
Thank you, Giles. And over to Nick.
Hello, this is Nick Jones, the Selsey Internet Radio roving reporter. And today I'm in the lovely cottage of Sarah Jouault. Yes, that was right. Right pronunciation. Is
Yes,
that right?
it was, yes.
Right, Jouault. It's like Renault. Jouault, Renault. It's French, by the way. Sarah represents... I'm not going to say the surname again. It's Sarah from now on. Right. Sarah represents the UK in Ironman. And she's going to tell us all about it. And she's going to... she just finished the marathon, by the way, the London Marathon. She just finished that, and she's going to tell me about that as well. And she's a very, very keen children charity collector for... And she'll tell you how much money she's raised. Okay, Sarah, let's start off with, tell me about Ironman.
Well, I started actually running first off, and then in 2001 I started doing triathlon. And
Now, what's triathlon?
Swimming,
yes.
cycling, and then running.
Right.
And in 2005 I qualified for the first time to represent Great Britain in the World Championships.
Wonderful.
So I decided that I'd better learn to do front crawl because that was something I couldn't do. I could only swim like old-fashioned breaststroke. And then in 2009, I moved here to Selsey to help me with my training as well, doing Ironman. And I live 14 miles away from my work.
Where's that?
In Felpham, in Bognor Regis.
And what is that then?
It's a hair and beauty spa, and I've been there nearly 30 years now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well established.
Yes, and everybody knows me very well there for all my fundraising and everything. And Selsey I found just wonderful for my training. I swim under the lifeboat and go along to the fishermen, and they know me. I run along there every morning with my dog.
Oh, that's the dog. What's the dog's name?
Kenny.
Kenny. Hello, Kenny.
I just find Selsey is just a really beautiful place. It's quiet. There aren't many people. The roads, people say, it's not a very good road, but actually the road is all through tiny villages, so it's low speed. So it is actually safer on my bike. But yeah, so in 2010, I entered my first UK Ironman, which is a 2.5 mile swim.
Right.
112 miles on the bike.
112?
Yes.
Right, go on.
And then you run a marathon.
And a marathon?
Yes.
I'm shattered already. Go on, I'm only sitting here.
It took me 14 hours to do, and I beat the lady by 20 seconds. So I went all the way to Kona. And Kona is like the Olympics for a triathlete. And it was amazing, just incredible. And so I've spent the last 4 years doing Ironman.
And what's this news you've just had?
I've just had fantastic news from America. I did so well last year. I came first in the UK, third in the European Championships, and 9th in the world in my age group. And then they put all the races together, and I ended up in the top 5%. So I was awarded the Silver Ironman All-World Athlete.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yes,
that is absolutely fantastic.
It's made like all my hard work
Absolutely
seem
worthwhile.
And last year I raised just over 10,000, and this year with the London Marathon.
Yes, you say you raised 10,000. What do you raise the money for?
I raise it for children's charities, all for terminally ill children, mainly Chestnut Tree House, Snowdrop Trust, the Rocking Horse, which is the specialist hospital like Great Ormond Street. And I've raised £106,000.
Have you really? Well, that's something to be proud of. That is wonderful.
Yeah,
Simply wonderful.
That's really motivated me. So, like on Sunday, it was kind of my last big race. I feel like I want to have a little.
Sunday. What happened on Sunday then?
The London Marathon.
Oh, the London Marathon, of course, on Sunday. Yes.
Yeah, and I was actually hoping to win my age group, and I was right on time for doing it. And then I got tripped up mile 16, carried on till about mile 20, and then had to drop back because I thought I'm going to injure myself. But I still managed to complete it in 4 hours 6 minutes.
4 hours 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Takes me 4 hours 6 minutes to run a mile.
So I was hoping to do it in 3.5, but anyway.
What's your best time for a marathon?
3 hours 31 minutes.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's excellent. Isn't it? I say good. That's excellent, isn't it? But what if you do the Ironman? You do a marathon at the end of it.
Yes.
What time do you do for a marathon at the end of an Ironman?
I did my UK one in 3 hours 58 minutes.
Really, after doing the swimming and the cycling?
Yeah.
That is fantastic. So, have you got any plans for the future now?
Well, I'd like to sort of like drop out of the limelight a little bit. Still race, but do it sort of for myself quietly. So if I come last, there's no pressure, you know. So I just have to wait and see, really. But I definitely will carry on swimming in the sea and running all the way to Pagham and cycling to work. So I'm definitely going to stay here for the rest of my time.
Good. Wonderful.
I absolutely love Selsey.
So do I. I love it as well. You either love it or hate it, they say. We both love it. That's good.
I just think it's a really peaceful place, and everybody's so kind to me, and I try to use the local shops all the time because I think that's really important. And the local John, the local vegetable guy, he always gives me special large grapefruit, which I use for my training, and just everybody's really nice. Everybody's really kind to me.
Well, that's super. It's really super to hear. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm very, very grateful to you. Next time you're going to need any sponsoring, please give me a ring, let me know, and I'll get it on the radio.
That would be wonderful.
And we can get it, try and get some sponsorship going for you to add to your help.
Yeah. I would like to say that maybe in the future I'd like to do a children's triathlon here.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I did go and speak to the schools a couple of years ago, but I really need the support of the parents.
Well, now you're dropping out of the limelight then, maybe you could sort of think about that and you get some sponsorship for that. And because there's some good... I mean, I think in Selsey there are some good things going on now. Our youth sports is going very, very well. There's a walk week in a couple of weeks' time in the beginning of May. I don't know if you've seen that advertised.
No.
That's quite good. There's walks all over the Selsey. And the things you're doing is just the sort of thing I think we can sort of help you with, or I hope we can help you with.
Yes, that'd be wonderful.
All right?
Yes, thank you
very much for your time. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you, Nick. So that's all for this week. Thank you for listening, and I leave you with the thought for the day. Goodbye for now.
A little reading from a book called Give God a Chance by William Sangster. In this book, he outlines many ways in which people can approach God. Here is one way. Can we be convinced by intuition? There are some things we know without being told. We didn't read them in a book. We didn't have them knocked into us by teachers. No scientific experiment was necessary to prove them. We just knew them. We always knew that love was better than hate, kindness better than cruelty. We always knew other things as well. We always knew that beauty pulled us. People vary in the way that they respond to beauty, but all feel it. In a flower, in a landscape, in a sunset, in a symphony, It needs no justification. We always knew that truth was better than a lie, however convenient lie might be on occasions. Nor was it truth only in the conversation of day to day, but truth in the deepest sense. We always knew that goodness was better than badness, even if it appealed to us more in some lovely deed of sacrifice than in some strict obedience to a high moral code. Who can be unmoved by the goodness of Elizabeth Pilenko, a Russian nun who, on Good Friday, 1945, she saw a hysterical girl in the queue for the gas chamber at Ravenbrook concentration camp, and she said, "Don't be frightened, dear. Look, I'll take your turn." And she went to death in her place. Beauty, truth, goodness, how real and how high they are. Even when we spurn them, we know in ourselves that we are spurning the best. How do we know? We just do. They're inside us. Animals don't feel like this. We have sight and insight. So if we follow these insights, they can lead us to a being to whom beauty, truth, goodness are supremely precious, though this is not the only way. But the way of intuition is a way worthy of respect.